I mean, the mechanics should probably tell me this, so I shouldn't have to wonder, but I'm kind of wondering if having a zombie scare the villagers is faster than just having passive spawns. So I'm pretty sure it's still limited by the 30-second spawn rate in either case. If they're just gonna spawn golems regardless, I mean, I might not even have to put the zombie in. I mean, I'll probably still end up putting the zombie portion into the thing, but I don't really know if it's gonna be any faster. So I gotta get 5 more of these guys up here. And I should have probably waited to try to mess with these guys. Only because I'm anticipating it being like hyper frustrating. And yeah. I mean, I'm not like super tired, but I probably should have gone to bed. And you put the two things together, so like I'm probably not gonna be too pleasant when I'm doing this, like just with how like how frustrating it can be to deal with these guys as it is, like. So let's try it. Well, that one was easy. Any second now. Maybe he'll jump in? No, of course not. He's just not gonna get in that minecart, huh? Just wait, like... hey! And of course, now I'm frustrated because now it's going real easy. And I had anticipated it being frustrating and not working well. No! And like, oh, now he's gonna get out. Like, I mean, what a weird thing to be happy about. Okay, yes, it's not working. Like, no, but there it goes. Like, and then like, I mean, they even managed to be inconsistent as far as that goes. Like, I mean, these guys are supposed to be like people and not just like animals in the game, or like, you know, you should be able to reason with them and make them get into the minecart. Like, now they're gonna run in front of the track and not let this guy go past. Now watch. You know, like if you like crouched and clicked on them, and then crouched and clicked on the minecart or something, like if it was like a built-in mechanic in the game, like get in the minecart, dude. No, dude, get away from the door. He doesn't know who to look at. And he's off. I mean, I understand that the villagers have no reason to want to get into the minecart. Or like if there was a move command, like, you know, you're in the way or whatever, like, or if it was just part of the way that they functioned, that, you know, they could sense that you're working on stuff right here, so they would avoid that block or whatever. But no, they'll just come and stand right there and look at you. Must resist the urge to kill. Oh crap. So one of them already made it up here. And I've only got to do this like 40 more times. Oh great, I broke out that piece. So, only have to do this 35 more times. But on the bright side, the ones that I just put in spawn another golem. Which I'm really thinking that so long as you have 5 villagers and a unique spawn pad, the golem spawn rate, even with a zombie, is still 30 seconds. So unless it takes them longer to spawn a golem than 30 seconds passively with just 5 people, then like, why would you even need a zombie? Which I've misread and misunderstood mechanics with the golem farm before, because again, I'm still new to this, but I'm not sure adding a zombie would make it any faster. Unless it just makes it more consistent, which then it would make it faster, but like I said, I'm not sure what the mechanics are compared to a villager being scared and spawning a zombie, or just 5 villagers spawning a golem, or spawning a golem because of a zombie or not. Yeah. So, like, if I right-clicked him, he just jumped right in the minecart. Is that how they work anyway? So, like, if I put a minecart here and right-click him, are you gonna jump in the minecart? Or did that just happen just because? Like, yep, I see you bobbing your head around. Well, I did notice it makes them... Does that really make them easier to get into the minecart? Like, if I right-click this guy and then push him... Wow, these things, dude! I try to go out around him to get to this guy, and I either just clip that guy just enough to rotate him into the way, or he just happened to stand in the way of what I was trying to do, and it's like... So if I right-click this guy and push him into the minecart... Is that really a thing? I mean, it doesn't stop him from moving. So, okay, so no, it's not a thing. And I've just gotten lucky like 3 times in a row. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have just started the entire village with 2 villagers. This poor creature. They do like getting stuck in the fence. Come on, guys. I mean, I don't think that it's intentionally programmed that they're as frustrating as possible. Like, why push me back this way, dude? And he walks back through me to, like, go over to this one that's in the corner that I can't get out of the corner. Get in the minecart. And he goes that way. Oh, I want to hit him. Get in the mine cart, dude. I want to punch this guy in the face. Dude, there's no reason to be over here by this guy. And then because all these guys can see everything that's happening over here, if I punch this guy in the head, they're all gonna gossip about it, and then it's all gonna get back over to the guys that I'm trying to trade with. Like, me standing in this corner should push him out of this corner. And so now at least I feel validated in my frustration. Is he gonna jump in the minecart, or is he just gonna troll me? He's just gonna troll me. At least now I'm not happy that I'm frustrated, but at least, like, you know, I feel a little bit validated that I knew it was gonna be this irritating. Oh, I wanna hit this villager in the face. The thing that I haven't tried, that I'm not really sure is gonna help me in it, is if I go get a lead. And there's nothing I can do except for hope to be, hope to get lucky and hope to get the villager in the minecart is the only thing that I can really hope for. Is like, because you can't attach a lead to him, which it kind of makes sense that you can't attach a lead to them because they're supposed to be people, and that's cool to do that. But I did read somewhere that you can put them in boats. Hmm. 6 hours later. And like, only 25 more villagers left to put in the spots up there. The bad part is I hope I'm exaggerating. For dramatic effect, I hope that it's not going to take me that long to get this many villagers where I need them to go. And there's not really any way that I can accurately gauge just how long it's going to take me because of the inconsistent nature of working with the villagers. Like, they kind of just do what they want when they feel like it. And the only thing that I found to consistently get a zombie in a minecart is to punch him in the head and hope that he lands in the minecart. You used to be able to trick them. Like, you could put down a minecart and they would just path right through the minecart rail. And as long as you could kite the zombie to the path, they would just run into the minecart. I don't think you can put a boat on a bed. Oh, you can. You can kind of drive a boat around. Yeah, get in the boat, and then I leash the boat, right? Oh no. Is he still in the boat with me? Okay, so you can kind of move it around this way. If I do that, is he gonna get... What? I have a... Okay, that's new. Somebody said, I read someplace you could put a lead on the boat, but I now have a villager in a boat in a minecart that I apparently can't move. Okay, so this is now a bigger problem than it was before. Okay, so then when you break that out of the boat, oh my god, dude. So apparently you can't put the lead on the boat anymore. Dude, get in the boat. Okay, so now he's in the boat. And then if I push the minecart into the boat, it picks it up, right? No. And back over to the corner. Oh, it's bedtime, okay. Somehow I got a villager in a boat in a minecart. These guys are still just in that corner. How many of the other ones are in the corner? I've seen this behavior in a few of the guys that are over this way. I forget what they are. It's not the fisherman. I think it's the fisherman that does that. Which I don't think it's mob specific, but... And I'm not trying to fake being agitated. No, this is irritating, man. This is why I waited. Like I said, I probably should have slept and woke up and done this. Because I know just how frustrating it can be. Like, they're gonna go everywhere except for where I want them to go. And I can't place any blocks here or anything. And he's not gonna path out of here. Dude, get out of the corner, and he's just gonna sit in the corner to spite me. Get out of the corner, dude. No, stop pushing me back into the corner. And I think they're gonna do the same thing even if I replace this block with blocks instead of a fence. Nope, gonna troll me. Hey! Look at that. 6 hours later. Another inconsistent minecart behavior, trying to speed boost it by sprinting. No, it's just gonna sit there. It's just gonna act like you just ran through it and add no momentum to the minecart. On today's episode of Winecraft. Like, I can be mad and be patient at the same time. I mean, they aren't mutually exclusive. No, the zombie's definitely faster. I think it makes it a more consistent spawn time, like it's a pretty much guaranteed spawn at least once per 30 seconds. Every pad should spawn one with a zombie. And this kind of just seems like whenever they feel like they can spawn a golem. But again, like I haven't measured anything to test that or anything else. So that right now that's just speculation, but I should be able to easily test if that's true or not. So that should be all 5. Yeah. Wow. Got real lucky there. Dude, go. I sent it to the wrong spot. This is just me being a derp. Now is he gonna send it back down the hill. No, it's going to send it back to the circle. No, dude, no! And the funny part is, I thought about removing this section because I wanted it to be like, you know, I didn't anticipate after I built the first version that I would have to change it or that any villagers would ever fall out of the bottom again. And 20 or 30 videos later, I was so very wrong, and this thing has helped me so much. Like, I think the villager made it down there. Yeah, there he goes. Yeah, that is not what I wanted to do. I see 2 golems in here. I do. I even tried to aim above the minecart. I mean, that's another thing that they could handle, like, code-wise, is if you're looking at a minecart and trying to hit it with a pick, the subsequent pick strike for whatever block that's behind it shouldn't happen, because you're trying to remove something from a minecart. And if you're trying to remove something from a minecart, there's usually a good chance that there's going to be a piece of rail underneath it. So, you know, that's going to happen like all the time. And like, you know, if it happens once, you know, like, you know, not really a big deal, but like, if it happens every single time that you're trying to do something, then that adds up to a lot of time just replacing rails that otherwise shouldn't be broken. And like, there's probably a mod that fixes all of this stuff that I'm talking about, but not only should you not have to mod the game for stuff like that, but there's also a good chance that there isn't a mod that does what I'm talking about. And I mean, A little bit of a slap to the head there. Made me feel a little better. But because he's within the range of the ones that I trade with, I mean, there's a chance it's going to mess up my trades, but... You know, for as much as it made me feel better, it didn't really make me feel that much better. Because it still didn't do what I wanted it to do, he still just stood there. Now I kind of feel bad for slapping him in the head. Like... Ha. Dude, get in the bed, dude. I guess it takes a second for them to reacclimate to where their new bed is. Is that all 5 of them? Cool. I think I put all 5 of them in there. I can't see. Yeah, I did. We just ended an Enderman. What if he dropped a pearl? I'm kind of tempted to go see if he did. Should be able to jump over here off into the water. Yeah. Might have been outside of the range of dropping an entity. I think it was over here. Oh no, he had a grass block. Yeah, it did drop an entity. These are just taking out spiders, everything. And there's so many golems. Jeep. I just had a flashback to the first time I was ever trying to make a cow pen. And it could just be like misremembered nostalgia. Like slightly remembering it incorrectly, but as soon as the cows sensed that there was a way for them to path out of the pen that they were in, they were just on it immediately, and they'd just push you out of the way and trample you to the point where you couldn't close the gate or like put a block in or anything else. Like it, and it was havoc trying to make a cow pen. Like as soon as you open that gate, you just got like totally rushed, and you just got overwhelmed. Like it's not as bad as that now, but I don't think I'm misremembering that. Like, let's see if this catches one. Nope, it's just gonna sit there, I guess, because I tried to sprint push it. And I think that's the thing that determines that they get pushed in the minecart. Like if it's got a lot of momentum to it. I mean, that so far has seemed like the most consistent way to put them in a minecart. Or if you can, I guess, grab the square that they're standing on. Ah, he moved. Like right at the last second he had to move, like. Yeah, quite a few golems going. Just passive mode. We're not even all the way full with all of the potential spawn points. I don't think I've got this side all filled up yet. Yep, that's... Yep. I think this guy is stuck in there. Yeah, he is. I'm gonna make sure that the minecart track is set up right. Well, I don't see any golems getting stuck yet. So I think the water collector that I built seems to be working. Because otherwise, if they can get stuck, they will get stuck. And I would be seeing golems up here. Come on, guys, spawn a golem. I mean, I wanted to... Nope, see, we got 2. Got 4. 5, nope, still 4. Nice. I mean, I just cleaned out the iron box. Kind of tempted to see how much iron I've got in there, like... I mean, just with like all the various combinations of the way that people interpret stuff. Like, I hope that this is entertaining for somebody. I mean, even with my mild frustration of playing Minecraft, like, yeah, I hope somebody, has themselves a giggle. I mean, this is already way more golems than before. But, like, you can always tell when people are, like, I mean, not everybody can tell, but I would like to believe that a majority of people can tell when, like, people are, like, faking stuff for a video. It should be all 5, yeah. And, like, I try not to hide my frustration, because sometimes it's gotta be funny. Like, so it means sometimes it gotta be amusing. I did shut that off, right? But I'm not trying to go for, like, the fake video entertainment thing. Look at that. One for every pad that they could spawn on. So yeah, I mean, it should be, even on passive mode, it should be 9 golems every 30 seconds. Because they're all outside of the detection range of where any potential golem could be. You know, with some luck anyway. And they're all outside the detection range of any of the other pads, you know, the collection, the bed, I don't know what to call them. These things. They're all outside the range of detecting if any of the other villagers in the other place attempted to spawn a golem and succeeded. But I mean, if I'm gonna get more iron out of it using the zombie, I mean, I'm gonna definitely use the zombie after putting all this work in. Looks like a upside down sky temple. I said that in a few previous videos. But I mean, because there's no guarantee that every person has heard everything that I've said in every video. I mean, I'm gonna say it again. It's cool. It kind of looks like an upside down sky temple. I mean, this is already undoubtedly more golems just visually at a distance, and I don't even have all the villagers up there yet in passive mode. So that's a big plus. I mean, that's, you know, there's another one. I'm gonna have to add a bigger box on the bottom. And I mean, that's probably the first thing I'm going to use the auto crafter for when they add that to the game. Just something that filters out and crafts iron blocks out of iron. And then the second thing I'm probably going to hook up to my sorting machine is, yeah, this is just significantly more golems. Like, there would be something wrong if it weren't. There's another one. I don't even have a zombie up there yet. It makes me super happy. That right there makes all the frustration and the tree chopping and everything else worth it. Not even done yet, and I'm already getting that many more golems. Like, I'm kind of tempted to check to see how much iron I've got over there, just since I've gotten these 45 blocks of iron. Just in, like, passive mode without it even being, like, full. But again, like, if it wasn't making more iron, there would be something wrong. So I don't know if I'm going to bother with the boats. I don't think the boats are really doing me any good here. And normally I keep slime blocks in here because it's a base material to make leaves, but I don't have a slime farm or any consistent slime source yet. I haven't even found a slime chunk underground. Why do I only have one of these? Am I out of villagers? Yeah, I'm gonna have to get some from the main breeding pen. Yeah, so it does look like the higher momentum does pretty much guarantee that there's gonna be. And plus, if you're able to click the brick that they're on, it seems to put them in the minecart every time. Yeah, go, golems, go. And right at the start of this video, I upped my maximum Java memory to 12 gigs and the allocated minimum to 8 gigs. And it seems to have stopped the stuttering that was happening. And I say seems because people have a tendency to take what people see on a YouTube video at, you know, face value as, you know, I mean, most things that most people put in YouTube videos, especially how-to videos or informational videos, should be accurate. So I can understand people doing that. But the difference is this is a vanilla, like, playthrough where I'm doing a lot of speculating on stuff. So if I say that I'm speculating on something, I might be wrong about it. I mean, like with my first design for of I had this idea to put them 32 villagers in a circle and just let them spawn in a circle surrounding where the beds were, with it being in the center. And it worked, it spawned golems, but not nearly at the rate that it should have in my mind, because I missed a key portion of the text where, oh, they checked with any other villagers within 10 blocks to see if any other villagers spawned a golem. So it's like, womp womp. But this, and the changes that I made, this should be optimized for the mechanics for both passive and with the zombie. I mean, I don't think I'm going to get the zombie put in this video. I'll probably wait for that later, because I want to see how much it runs in passive mode. But yeah. And the other reason I specify that I'm speculating stuff and not to take everything that I say at face value as being 100% correct is because I'm not out to spread misinformation. Because it's too easy to do that. I mean, I can't remember, like, it was like a long time ago, but back before the internet was a thing, where before the internet was common, because again, I'm like old. Everybody had their theory about, like, I think it was the magic cow level or something. And the funny thing about the magic cow level, and it wasn't for Minecraft, because Minecraft didn't exist. I think it was Diablo, I think was the game. I could be wrong about that too, but everybody circulated this rumor, even without the internet or anything else, but like somehow everybody managed to know just a handful of people and spread the rumor to everybody, other people, where it got back around to the developers, where they actually added a magic cow level. So I mean, it's like super easy to spread misinformation. But I'm not trying to do that. Like, dude, why is this a thing? Like, why does my character have precedence to push this character out of this corner? And there's no solution, there's nothing you can do about it. And I mean, every time it happens, it's going to be frustrating every time, because there's nothing you can do about it every time, and it happens every time. And they just get consistently stuck in this corner. And it's like, even if you hit them, they'll like stand there and not move, even if you hit them. Like, if I right click them, it doesn't do anything. Like, and the simple fix that would fix that is like, their push force is greater than my push force. And it's like, why is it like that? I mean, I don't think I'm being unreasonable, and like that would be a easy solution for that. Or like, if you wanted a villager to get in a minecart, if you right-clicked them and then like, you know, right-clicked the minecart, or crouched and right-clicked the minecart within a certain time of them bobbing their head at the minecart, they just go and get in the minecart. But, and I mean, like, the player pushing mobs should take precedence over the mobs pushing the player. And villagers especially, they should have it in their AI as a default to recognize if the player is like looking at this block, or like digging this block, or using a tool on this block, wherever the player is looking at, try not to be standing right there. I mean, and I know enough about code to know that that isn't really that difficult to achieve. Like, I mean, they have all the variables in the game already, like your line of sight and what block you're targeting. And if they put it in the code to check to see like, well, if I'm standing in the way, I should move. They already have the targeted block, and it's not like it would be a difficult thing to fix. Because the way it is now, I wouldn't really necessarily call it broken, but unrefined enough to be so very irritating every time. Well, that makes me feel better at seeing the golems drop off in the distance. I mean, that's already just 3 in just that few seconds. 4, 5. I don't even have all the villagers up there yet. 6. 4 zombie. Oh, that makes me so happy. I mean, that makes all the, like, the frustration just melt away immediately. Like, until, you know, I turn around and try to put these guys in a minecart, and it's like, nope, right back to 100. Like, and it's like the helplessness of like, there's not anything you can do except for like break the blocks out. Like, because you can't push them, you can't pull them, you can't hit them, you can't lure them, you can't coax them. Like, it's just cranking out golems. Yeah, I'm gonna have to add a bigger box. Well, that seems to work pretty consistently. If I get like a running start and I somehow don't run through the minecart and manage to stop it every time, and that seems to work consistently too, is if you're able to get them to stand on a piece of minecart track, and if you know, if they're standing on this one, you could just get it right on the corner here. They seem to jump in it most of the time. Well, I've already got all the villagers that I'm taking out of here, out of there. So let's, come on, strike this thing. Odin, show me a sign. Zap. Well, I got a lightning bolt in the timing, but it's sparking. Come on, hit this thing. Oh, whatever. I'm just hoping for the random chance to record it on video that, like, you know, when you know, there's a thunderstorm and you're like, you say some incantation or something and you point at the sky and a lightning bolt goes off. Like, it's just random happenstance that it happens, but it's cool when it works. I was just hoping for that, and no, it didn't work. Didn't happen this time. But every time it does work, it's totally because I told it to. That's sarcasm. So I need one more villager up there for it to be the 5 that I need for the thing. Well, it looks like I've got some amount of them in here, which I don't think is the total amount that is necessary. So that means that I'm back to when I first started, is I'm going to have to wait to breed more villagers. I've never seen a baby villager in a minecart. I'm not even sure if that's a thing. Which, it should probably be a thing. It would make more sense that it was a thing than it wasn't a thing. And you should be the 5th one. See, they're pushing me out of the way. that shouldn't work like that. I should have a greater momentum value than they're able to push. Like, and not, you know, not just because I say so, not just because I think that I should, but I mean functionally in the game, like a quality of life thing, like the momentum coefficient that the player has should be greater than all of the mobs, whether they be hostile or friendly. Because it just makes sense for it to be like that. So I think I've got, yep, 5 there, 5 there, 5 there. So I should be working on this section now. I mean, because it is a game where the player is doing stuff all the time. You know, like, I don't think the mobs are gonna, like, be building stuff or have priority over anything that you're trying to do as the player in the game. So that doesn't... having it be the other way, where it is now, where the mobs can push the player or stand in the player's way, or, like... that can only lead to irritation. That can only lead to, like, stuff not working the way that the player wants it to work, and it's like, well, why would it be like that? Again, I'm not trying to be unfair in my criticism, like, I'm not trying to just complain for the sake of complaining, like, I think it would be like an improvement to the game. And again, not just because I say so, and not just because I think so, but like measurably, objectively, and quantifiably, like it should be a measurable improvement to the quality of playing the game. Like, let's see, like, I tried to run through this guy to add momentum, like the sprint momentum, and it stopped the minecart. But, and this isn't a dig toward bedrock, but at least Java works. I mean, at least Java functions. I mean, I'm not responsible for all the bugs in Bedrock, or for people calling it bug rock. But I mean, like, the amount of videos or the clips that I've seen on Reddit, because again, I don't really watch other people's videos. Not that they're not good to watch, but just because I like to do my own thing. But like, you know, you see poor players flying around, or like, you know, doing just normal stuff, and all of a sudden they're teleported into the ground and like suffocating, they lose all their stuff. Like, no, that's definitely not functioning right. Like, I mean, like, I don't understand how, like, people could see stuff work like that and like have it, like, you can see that it's broken, and then to have it go and not be fixed, like. And I say that as a person that writes programs. Granted, they're not like, you know, crazy in-depth programs with a team of people that introduce like different methods or like less than best practice, or like, I mean, they're typically just simple programs that do simple stuff. But I mean, on a fundamental level, I mean, any program is just a series of codes in a permutative truth table. Like, I mean, a program can only be in any given state, even if it's an astronomical number of permutative states. I mean, that's still just a finite set of states. So, like, and it only ever does what it's instructed to do, so, like, how could there be so many bugs in that version? And I mean, like, people act like code is a mystery, and it's like, no, it's literally instructions that tell you what it's doing. I try not to say the word literally, because, you know, people say that word too often and misuse it a lot of the time, and it's like, or unnecessarily use it. No, but in this case, like, I think it's a fair use of the word, like, oh, and that's one of the, like, that's something that is somewhat irrational that bugs me, is like, there's a meme on like the programmer humor thing of like, you know, they pretend that they don't know what the code is doing, and it's like, it drives me crazy because it's instructions that tell you what it's doing. How is it confusing? I mean, I could see if it was a like obfuscated code, where it doesn't, like, it's not just clear instructions and like you have to like think about it, or it's like code that, you know, is written by, like, you know, algorithmically written code, where it's like, it's not just like variable names and instructions and like clear, concise ways to read it, but like, you know, it cycles through like the alphabet to write itself kind of stuff. Like, I mean, it's kind of difficult to describe exactly what I'm talking about, but I mean, that I can see being confusing, like, because, but I mean, even that is still, even that is still instructions. I mean, so it should be all 5 in this section. And this guy's just gonna stand right there if I try to open up the thing to hit this switch, because I want to turn off the activator rail. He's gonna jump out the door. Yes, I got lucky and it's nighttime. And then there's that, is like, because a program only ever does what it's told to do, it doesn't just arbitrarily decide to do stuff that it's not told to do. I mean, where is the mystery? It's like, Right, so I emptied out that section, so I gotta get 5 more of these guys out of here. I should need 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I should have the 10 to fill up those last 2. Without having to breed them and then having to wait, because trying to take the adult villagers out when there's baby villagers is they're gonna run out through this section, and the baby villagers are just gonna go everywhere. Which they shouldn't be able to get out of any place, except there are a few, like there's this section here where they can get out. Like, holy crap, look at all the golems. Yes! Oh, and I'm not, like, trying to hurt anybody's feelings, like anybody that writes programs and has a hard time with it. Like, I'm not trying to shame anybody. I mean, it's just a genuine question of, like, which part is confusing? Like, it's doing what you're telling it to do. It's not doing what you're not telling it to do. If for some reason it was doing what wasn't written in the instructions, that would be cause for concern. Then there's a major problem. Like I'm not even sure how you would achieve that. Like where else is it getting the instructions from? So it should be 5. I mean, and then there's this, is like, I'm not sure why this isn't a common thing, and it might be a common thing because I don't really talk to a lot of other programmers and stuff. And again, I'm not trying to make myself out to be a guru or anything. I mean, I try to keep things as simple as possible. And there's people out there way more knowledgeable and way better than I am, both in their comprehension and execution of code, but like, now see, this guy spawned here from these guys. But it's funny that he did spawn there. I think I could take a screenshot. Yeah. But I forgot what I was saying. I get distracted by the golem. One of the tools that I know other people must have thought about it, but like one of the simplest things you could do that is applicable in any language is the easiest way to debug a program is every single function or sub or void or whatever. I mean, you could put your own like debug print with the function name and all the variables that are passed to it, and then append that to a text file or a string value that gets appended to a text file. So like, I call it like, this is probably a laughable term because I'm just making it up myself, but like, you know, it's like a verbosity tracer. And like you could, that's how I used to debug other people's World of Warcraft add-ons. Like if I wanted to mod their World of Warcraft add-on to make it do exactly what I wanted it to do, but I wasn't sure how they were achieving it. I mean, every function that gets passed with every variable it just puts a timestamp on it with the function name and whatever variables were passed to it and returned from it. And I mean, there's no other way that you would know, like, you'd know exactly what happened. You would know, like, the path that the program took. Go down the whole, because it's written right there. It tells you what it did. And so long as you put, you know, that in every function, there's no way to not know what it did. Which brings me back to the meme that drives me crazy. Is the you know, the pretending to not know why their program is doing what it's doing is like, oh, and any of the programs that I've written, most of them were from a long, long time ago on computers that were either lost or stolen or got burnt out, and I never kept a backup of any of it because most of it I didn't expect any of the times that it got lost, broken, or stolen. And they're from so long ago that they're outdated. I mean, I do have a few, but like, I mean, I don't have any reason to lie about it, but I'm just anticipating somebody out there being like, "You're full of dookie." But again, I'm not trying to impress anybody as far as that goes. I mean, just, I can't help but get to that point in my mind of thinking, like, you know, why does the character not have a greater push value than every other thing in the game? Like, hostile mobs I could kind of understand, but the villagers? Or the golem, like the golems, I mean, I think the villagers have a higher push rate than the golem does because you can easily push the golem around. Allocating that much memory seems like overkill, but the game hasn't really stuttered since I've done that. So the path should be good. Oh, and then there's that is, I've never, well, I can't say that is, there's a, like, special case for that, but I've never really done programming in a true professional sense. It's always just been a hobby. I mean, I have been doing it for like 28 years on and off. But no, I've never been to school for it, so like I said, I know that there's people out there way more knowledgeable about it, so I mean, I'm not trying to compete against those people. But the nice part about doing it as a hobby and doing it casually is kind of takes all that pressure off. Like, I only need to know what I need to know to make it go. I'm kind of like my own Packard from Star Trek. Like, just make it go. Is it all 5 of them? Yeah, it's raining. So you know how to do all this stuff, but you can't count, huh? Nope. I have trouble counting 3 spaces between pumpkins. So 5 more villages. Look at all the golems. It's working exactly the way I wanted it to. All 9 pads should be spawning a golem, because they're all outside of the range to detect a golem, and they're all outside of the range to detect if any of the other pads spawned a golem passively. I'm really not sure if a zombie is going to be any faster than this. Like, look at that. I don't even have the 9th pad yet. Like, no, but what I said about what I call the verbosity tracer, which again I know is probably laughable, and it might already exist in some other term, but like, it's applicable anywhere that you have a print statement, or anywhere that you can, like, it's not append. Well, in this case it would be append. I was going to say, I think it's concatenate. I probably said that wrong. Concatenate a string, but no, you just, in this case it would just be append it to the end of the string. Whatever function, wherever it is, in whatever language, so long as you could, you know, add that option. which you could use a global variable, which is why I call it verbosities. You have like different levels. Like if you just want the function names without the variables, you know, it'd be like level 1, level 0 would be turned off. I mean, I even added that to, I wrote a mining bot for Minecraft using somebody's client-side scripting engine. So you could, I mean, basically it just gave you access to the variables in the game. And not every one of them, but like ones that related to the player, what blocks you were around, or what tool you had selected, or, you know, if you had a certain, you know, block in your inventory or whatever, like, and that's really all you need to write a bot. And the way that I wrote it was event based. So like it would do a scan and then determine based on, you know, different cases in the scan, you know, like if there was an air block or a water block or a lava block, and the very first block that was in front of your feet, like, you know, if this was a lava block, it would do a scan of what's here, what was on the walls, what was above you, like what this block was and then what that block was. And if this was an air block, it would, you know, it would determine that it's an air block, and then the associated series of commands that would come after that, like it was event based, and it would create a stack of based on whatever events were in the stack. So like it would do a scan and add that to the event stack, and then when it came time to execute the events, it would execute whatever event was in the stack, which the event that always got added was the scan event. And then like the reason that I did that is if you wanted to add more complex stuff, it would detect that this event in this context was the thing that it should do, and then it would add all those events to the event stack where it actually started to do that. Like, you know, it would crouch, it would turn 180 degrees, it would back up to the edge of the block, it would look down this many degrees, and then like place a block if it was an air block, and then it would stand back up, go forward to the middle of the block, do 180 degrees, and then move forward one, and then rescan. So basically, it would build bridges over air blocks. It would turn lava into obsidian. It would select a shovel if it was dirt or gravel. And it would select a mining pick if it were. I mean, this is all the way. This is only just a few years after Minecraft came out. I think somewhere the post still exists, unless it's been archived or deleted on the Minecraft forums. I mean, it was too slow. Like it just functioned slowly, but it was designed to function that way because I had everything set up in a loop. So the loop was governed by a certain tick value. But the developer of the add-on was nice enough to tell me you could just disable that and make it run as fast as you want it to. Which that was freaking awesome, because then rather than just scan the small amount of blocks that I was around, like I just started to scan a whole cube. And I mean, like in a, you know, in like a 10 by 10 cube, I mean, that's what, 1,000 blocks that it has to scan. And if it's got to do that on a limit for every time that it goes through the loop to scan a block to iterate to the next block to add that to an array, like, it takes a long time. So I was like, man, is there any way to make this go faster? And it gave me like the super secret command to like disable the timer switch. Like, look at all of the golems. Yes. Oh, but the reason why I brought that up was there was no other way for me to know what state the program was in, or my own client was in, or my own bot was in on their client-side scripting engine without that verbosity thing. So like on level 0 it would be completely off and it would just run. On level 1 it would tell me like the major stuff that it was doing as it was executing the events. Level 1, level 2 would give me more detailed information. Level 3 would give me like all the variables and all the everything for the whole readout for everything that was being passed through the functions, and I did this in someone else's scripting engine that they wrote for Minecraft. I mean, so it's really applicable to like anything, so long as you have either a string that you can append stuff to and then print it, or write it to a file. If it doesn't have its own built-in debug thing that you have easy access to, like, I mean, World of Warcraft is another good example. Like, you just use a chat box to do that, and navigate your way through. Like, you could see whatever add-on is doing whatever thing, you just add a print statement. And I mean, whatever language has whatever thing that separates out the function or the subroutine or whatever. You can use regex and Notepad++ to pattern match that and go to the next line and add print function name, whatever it found for the stuff after the function name, and just automate adding that stuff to the Lua file for World of Warcraft. And like, you could just see what it's doing. Which brings me back to like, how do they pretend that they don't know what's happening into the program that they're writing? Like, I know it's just a joke, but some people are serious about it. Some people like, well, I don't know what it's doing. Why would I know what it's doing? It tells you what it's doing. This is worse. Villagers. Yeah, I'm tired and I'm just babbling. I know I should have went to bed before I started making this video. 2 hours of techno babble. Well, I mean, hopefully maybe somebody out there has been like, I can't figure out how to reverse engineer this thing, I can't figure out what it's doing or when it's doing it. Well, there you go, verbosity tracer. With multiple levels that you can, program yourself, and pretty much every language and every scope, it's to some extent has like a global variable that you can set as like, 0 through 5 or whatever level you want to set your verbosity to, and it's as simple as an if statement. Well, if the verbosity thing is set to 5, you do select a case between 0 and 5, and gives you a printout in whatever chat box or text file that you can see. Yeah. I know. Shut up and put the villagers in the thing. Blah, bloody blah. But it's important to me. I mean, like, I enjoy programming and stuff. I mean, it's like the closest thing that you can get to magic. No, come back. No. It's not gonna make it all the way up because it's empty. Damn it. Derp, 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 herpy derp, derp, derp. Excellent work. Why are you like that? Yes. But I mean, pretty much all mob AI. I mean, it's not really artificial intelligence. I mean, it's hard to argue that artificial intelligence is. I was gonna say, well, it's like it's truly contextual, like case-based, deterministic stuff. But I mean, no, it kind of is. I mean, it's like bot AI is still deterministic based on circumstance, like a creeper functions the same way as like my bot did, in the sense that based on a certain set of circumstances it would make certain decisions. Which, I mean, that was another thing that, like, I should have backed it up, and I didn't, and that computer got stolen, and it's like, well, I guess there goes that. I just wrote it in regular text and Notepad. I don't think I had even discovered Notepad++ back then. I mean, Notepad++ might not have existed back then. But again, I don't know, because relative to when I discovered it, relative to when it probably did. I mean, it's probably been around for a while, but... Oh, crap. I've already got 5 of them in here. Oh, good, good. Yes, push. And now they can't. Come on, try to get out the door and push him so I can try to close this. Not gonna, huh? Derp, 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 derpy derp, derp, derp. And I'm thinking about it, and that's not entirely true what I said about it being the closest thing to, like, real-world magic. I mean... magic, even in, like, fantasy worlds, I mean... it's just understanding of the mechanics of the universe that they live in, so I guess the closest thing to magic would probably be science. But that doesn't mean that, it's mutually exclusive to what I said about computers and gaming and programming and stuff. Like, I mean, it's still understanding of the arcane. And any incantation or spell is just a series of instructions. What's this thing? What is that? Oh, it's a grass block with 2 blue flowers on it. Oh, and the other, like, positive message of me babbling about programming and all that junk is, if anybody has any interest in trying to learn programming, I would say don't shy away from it. It might be frustrating at first, but like the feeling of satisfaction that you get from, like, you know, finally making whatever it is that you want to make do what you want it to do, it's really satisfying. And I mean, it's just like anything else in the sense that, like, once you know how to do it, it's not that hard. The difficult part is learning how to do it. But only, like, you know, you can make that, you can mitigate that and make that easier up to the point. What is that thing? Red flower. I'm looking at the very top right of the screen. I think it's just a yellow flower over top of a red flower. So I think I've got all, what is it, 45 of them up here. And I can just see, like, wherever the golem spawns from, like, that's already 1, 2, 3, 4 golems that just from sitting up here. And it should auto-regulate itself in the sense that the timers, if they happen to collide and detect a golem, the golem's not going to be within the area that long, so the timer that, plus you got 5 of them doing the passive timer, it should auto-regulate itself in the sense that it should automatically spawn the maximum amount that it could possibly spawn eventually. I mean, I think the max possible should be 9 golems every 30 seconds. So even if it doesn't happen all at once on all, as I say that it's not going to happen all at once on all the pads, it happens all at once on all the pads. Like, and this is still just on passive mode. Yeah, I mean, I think that's already as much as my golem farm did with the zombie on over the course of an hour. I don't know if I can even pick up all the iron in my inventory to check to see, like, so that would be 9, 18 times 64. And I don't really have a starting value of the time that I just want to see how much is in here. So 64 times 18 plus 128 plus 37. I mean, that's 1,317 iron. And I am gonna have to do a test at some point between passive mode and zombie mode. But I'm tired and I don't feel like doing it right now. And I don't really have a good reason not to do it other than I'm tired and I don't feel like doing it right now. I'm probably gonna end this video and then take a nap. Derp, 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 derpy derp, derp, derp. And again, when I'm playing Minecraft, I'm frustrated with the villagers. I'm not knocking the game, I'm not knocking the developers. I'm not trying to be unreasonable or unnecessarily critical or like... It would just be nice if the character had a little bit more control over the villagers. You know, like the big thing would be like if they're stuck in the corner on a fence and they won't path out of it, like if you back up to the corner, like your hitbox should displace their hitbox out into where they can be displaced into. But is it frustrating when you're not, like, you're totally helpless to do anything but just stare at the villager that's just gonna stare at you? Oh yes. Oh my. I'm not sure if you could tell that it's that I'm frustrated. And then there's that, is I could always do that test at any point in the future. Ah man, but this is so satisfying though. Yeah, this is just another stack of iron since I just cleared it. Like, and more golem, and another golem. It's nice. So the passive method with 5 villagers in an adequately spaced platform works real well. What is this up here that I see? That shouldn't have happened. I mean, there's no reason that that should... You know, he may have come out of the nether. Is what might have happened. But that guy up there is gonna mess up the, this spawn pad over here because... No, he should still be outside of the 16 block range. You know, these blocks might be 8 blocks. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This golem shouldn't spawn anywhere over here. Unless somehow he counted as the 9th golem, or the 9th spot, because he's just far enough into the block for it to register and being out here. Which I tried to prevent that by using solid blocks instead of fence. But it's close enough, I'm not changing anything. Like, because sometimes they slide through the bed, and his hitbox might be just on the very edge of this block to make it so they can spawn out here. But he must have spawned here, jumped up here, and then wandered over here. But if that's the case, I could just add half blocks to everything. Which isn't really a big loss. It's not really a big deal. Because the amount of time that they're going to be pushed in the wall far enough to reach the edge of the wall. Yeah. Man, that makes me so happy though, that it works. And it's optimized according to the mechanics of the spawning and the detection and the participants and everything else that I could find, with the potential to make it generate even more iron as soon as I add the zombie to it. Which, I mean, I'm not sure how I would add the zombie to it. Like, what would the best way to do that be? Like, I mean, this already just generates so much iron, just passively. Do I have any iron up here to bring down stairs? Which I could probably take these boots off. So I think the average number of iron ingots per golem is like 4. So 4 times 9 every 30 seconds times 2 would be 72 a minute times 60. It should be 4,320 if you get 9 golems every 30 seconds and get 4 ingots per golem. Divided by 64. It's 67.5 stacks per hour divided by 9. Oh no, that's wrong. Times 9 times 64 divided by 9. Yeah, so that's 480 iron blocks an hour. Divided by 64. So that's 7.5 stacks of iron blocks an hour. With 4 ingots per golem at 9 golems every 30 seconds. In passive mode. Which that number might not be entirely right. Which, that's the difference between like what the math says it should be versus what the game actually produces in the course of an hour. And then you just can't take one data sample. Like the more data samples that you have, the potentially more accurate it's going to be. Like, you know, if you take 10 hours worth of samples, it's going to show you more accurately what it should be. What was that? I guess Mr. Pigman poked his head out through the portal here and got blasted back into the nether by the golem and dropped his golden tooth. You just see a golden tooth sitting there on the... Oh, what is that? There, no. I see. Why is that busted? Why isn't this working? I guess this is bugged. Oh, it's because there's no minecart track there. Duh. Derp, 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 derp. I mean, I do kind of want my efficiency 5 axe back. Since I've used this one a little bit, I mean, the XP is probably going to be higher than, you know, what I want it to be. But if I buy 2 more axes and combine it, and then combine those two with this one. Well, I've got only 2 XP, so it'd be 10. Hello, Mr. Sir. Ow. So 15 that way, 13 this way. I only need 13 more XP. Derp, derp, derp. I mean, as soon as I add the zombie, I should have enough iron to turn into emeralds to, you know, build stuff out of emerald blocks, like my beacon. Yeah, I still need a looting book. And a better sword guy. Still need to level these guys. Which I don't have a zombie spawner to get enough rotten flesh. Whether it be a regular zombie spawner, you know, like a discovered one, or a darkroom spawner. It looks so cool. It's like an upside down floating temple in the sky that rains down iron. So I wanted some of these emeralds because, well, I'm not entirely out of carrots. I was going to say, well, I'm kind of out of carrots. Wanted to buy the bread from the farmers to get carrots. Because, I mean, you know, I've got the emeralds for it, so. Some pie. So pretty much just free bread. I don't even have to do the farm now. Just turn the iron into emeralds and turn it into bread. Look at all the golems. Look at them all. Yes. It's like they just don't stop falling. I mean, that should be a pretty accurate estimate. And that's even just for the low number, because I don't know what the actual proper number that you should get from the golem dying, like how much iron you should get. I did it with 4 bars. It might even be more than that, but I mean 7.5 stacks of iron blocks an hour for nothing with the zombie turned off. I mean, and again, I'm not sure why that rate would be higher with the zombie turned on. You know, with the zombies scaring the villagers. I think just passive mode is equally as fast as the zombie. Because I'm trying to think of any mechanic in there that makes the zombie spawn them faster. And I think the reason why people use the zombie to scare the villagers is so they don't have to breed the 5 villagers. And because most of the iron farms that I've seen, you know, just like posts on Reddit, I don't think I've seen any that use 5 villagers. I mean, I'm sure there must be some, but this layout that I have seems to me to be the most optimal for passive spawning, because it's essentially 9 separate, you know, like mini villages that meet the criteria to spawn a golem passively, and they can't detect the golem from any other spawn pad. And even if they do, I mean, there's 5 villagers performing the check between the spawn pads, and the golem's not going to be there for 30 seconds. And within the 10 block radius, that 10 block radius to check to see if any villagers within the 10 blocks have successfully spawned a golem, whether they're scared or just passively. Between the spawn pads, those cluster of 5 can't detect if any of the other 8 clusters have spawned a golem, so that's why the golems just keep falling out without a zombie. Which is why I designed it the way that I did. I mean, I'm sure there must be somebody else that had the same idea, because, again, you know, when you're first starting out, it makes the most sense to build a dirt house. Because given the criteria and given the mechanics, it's the easiest way to do it. I mean, it's like this right here, the easiest way to get, you know, full mine carts up a, you know, 1 block and 1 over incline is this here. I mean, so for 2 people to arrive at the same conclusion is not that surprising. I kind of want to make this the thumbnail. I mean, worst case scenario, I put in the zombie on the Zombie Express up there, and there's not really a marked improvement. And it's just, you know, like a little bit of wood and a little bit of minecart track and a little bit of time. Best case scenario, I get a crap load more iron out of it. But I mean, even just passively, this is already significantly more iron than my not optimized design. And I'm so happy that at the moment I'm done with it. I mean, I'm probably going to add the zombie to it pretty soon, but right now I'm just enjoying being done for the moment and having a optimized functional 9x, 5 by villager passive spawner with no zombie. But I think the reason why people opt for the zombie, if it is not faster than just having 5, is that you have to have 5 villagers. It takes time to breed 5 villagers, and most people are in a hurry. But no. It looks like an Aztec temple or something that's inverted and floating in the sky. Okay, I'm gonna call it a video here. Stop babbling. I was buying bread, but let me sleep and throw the bread to these guys. What? I should have. Crap. I thought about it as I jumped in the bed without enough time to jump out of the bed. Because I'm not sure which one of these guys need any food or not. I think they should be fine. Let me throw half stack food to these guys. Oh, just throw a whole stack, whatever. And I mean, it's free bread for iron for emeralds. This is so satisfying though. Just look at all the golems. I don't even have a zombie up there. Oh, here comes another one. Can't figure out why they would insist on using a zombie. Some of them even have a zombie and a bell. But I mean, this works. I mean, granted, if you have only 3 villagers and you only want like a, simple iron farm, it probably makes sense to only have the 3 villagers and the 1 zombie. Because the amount of time and effort and materials that went into building this, I could see not wanting to build that for a passive spawner. But I am going to build the zombie express up there. And I am going to hook it up to a daylight timer. And I am going to hook it up to an automated bell that as the zombie goes around, it might even have its own timer. I mean, then again, I can just hook the detector rail up to the zombie express and use the zombie as a means to ring the bell. Wonder how much iron is in the box. Oh, I need a stack of food. But see, now at any point in the future, provided they don't change the mechanics, I know this is what I would have to build for a high volume of iron for passive golems. When I say passive, just so I'm clear, I mean without a zombie scaring the villagers. If you have 5 villagers, they'll spawn a golem. They don't need a zombie. Which again, I'm trying to think of why the zombie would be faster. When all you need is 5 villagers. I can't figure that out. Because each pad, they're still going to check amongst themselves on each pad to see if any one of them has successfully tried and, you know, succeeded to spawn a golem with every 10 seconds. I mean, that might be like the increase as it goes from a passive 30-second check because of gossip to a 10-second check. Which, I mean, that's what, a 1/3 increase? Or would that be a 3 times increase? Well, I mean, if it was a 3 times increase, if my math is right, which is probably not, times 3, 7.5, that'd be 22.5 stacks of iron bricks an hour. Times 64. No, times 9. Yeah, I'm gonna need a bigger box. But the rate it was generating iron before wasn't fast enough for me to have a comfortable supply of reserve iron that I could buy a full set of armor and tools and enchant and, you know, buy bread or buy books or like, and to be able to make emerald blocks for my beacon. I'm gonna have to read the wiki page. I'm not gonna do it now, but I'm gonna have to read the wiki page to see why using a zombie is faster. I think the only reason to use a zombie is so you don't have to use 5 villagers. It's the only thing that and I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But why wouldn't people build passive spawners? I don't understand that. Then I end up putting in the Zombie Express and it's just a significantly amount more iron, so it's like, oh well, that's why. It'd be nice if any one of these guys wanted red dye. Nobody? No. Eventually I will get one that wants red dye, though. But I'm calling it a video here. Thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing. I'm clicking the button right now.